Okay, that's going.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so welcome everyone to this, the 10th Housing Repairs online show and share here at Newark and Sherwood District Council. Before I share with you what we're going to cover today, just a quick reminder why we do these show and shares. Next slide, please. They're an opportunity for us, the core team, to celebrate what we've achieved, demo any working software, and share any information on progress made. But most importantly, it's an opportunity for you, our collaborators and supporters, to ask questions and provide any feedback that you may have. Next slide. So what we're going to cover. So in a minute, I'll reshare our vision. I'll then hand over to Wendy Banks from City of Lincoln Council, who will give you an update on how the live MVP service is performing there. We'll then hear from Christian McIntosh, our product owner, who will give you a live demo of the MVP service that will go live at Newark and Sherwood in the next couple of weeks. I'll then do a quick recap of progress made in the current sprint and our focus for the next, before handing back to Kristen, who will tell you how you can engage with the project. And then finally, there's an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you may have or any feedback on what you've seen today. Next slide. So just to reshare our vision is to design and build a reusable and accessible online repair reporting tool that requires no login, and most importantly, residents prefer to use it as it meets their needs. A tool that is integratable with various scheduling systems through open, scalable and accessible APIs, enabling the tool, we hope, to be adopted by local authorities across the UK. I'm now going to hand over to Wendy Banks.
Thanks, Paul. Morning. The MVP has now been live at Lincoln since May this year, and since it went live, it's gradually starting to be used more and more, with September being the highest use to date. It continues to grow for both internal and external staff. Overall, 31% of all the appointments have been made out of hours, which is really promising for Lincoln. It's hitting a niche market of people that we don't have access to, or don't have access to the service normally. So between the hours of 6 p.m. and 9 a.m., over 31% of the people using it have been online to book their appointments. 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. remain the most popular time for the out of hours bookings. And in September, it was kitchens that were the highest repair issues reported through the form. The housing repairs wrap-up volumes have reduced since compared to 2021, which indicates an improvement in the service. And staff around the authority are using it when they're out and about now, with visiting officers being able to book appointments for customers whilst they're sat in their homes with them. Customer services are also using it for booking telephone appointments, people on the phone. So it's being used by staff as well as customers. Thank you. Back to Paul.
Thank you, Wendy. We'll now hand over to Kristen, who's going to give us a live demo.
Hello there. Right. Okay. Here we go. So it's probably a while since some of you have seen this, and this is now our MVP rather than the actual prototype. But this is the MPV, so it's the same as MVP rather than the full service, so it's the same as Lincoln's. So we still have certain bits like communal areas will need to ring in, same with leaseholders, but when we get to the next release, that's when those journeys will be introduced. So it's all branded up with our Newark and Sherwood styling guide now as well. As before, when you go through, if you're routed out straight away if you've got something that's urgent, so that you can actually end up being advised that it's an emergency rather than wasting your time filling in loads of screens only to be told to ring in. So generally it's going to be, if you've got something else, that's when you're actually continuing on. Again, it's just a reminder that actually, is it a communal area? And property postcode 24OEL, if I remember rightly. Paul, can you remember the postcode you were looking at? So we had a. I forgot to check my other one.
Try NG24 2SD.
2SD. I think it was 25 because I was looking at the OEL yesterday. There we go. So you select your property from the list. We'll go for a kitchen issue this time. And then you've got obviously lots of different options that are coming through. This one will go for a cupboard. We'll say we've got a door hanging off. You can put in the description. Now, again, when we come to the next version, this upload a photo will actually be on a separate page, but for the moment it's all in one. But it's this great bit of being able to actually add a photo. See if I can find where I saved it. There we go. So we've got our little kitchen door there that's coming up. Oh, very quick and simple to use. And of course, if someone's actually on a smartphone, which a lot of people will be, this is formatted so that it'll work really well for them. They can just take the photo with their phone straight in there to get it loaded up. Aha, Paul, you sent it through to me in the wrong format.
Oh, well, at least that shows that the validation of the page is working.
Yeah, but this is another thing that's going to be in the next version is we'll be able to set, we're looking at accepting the multiple file format. So that's already underway, but not something we can do within this version. So once we have gone through that stage, again, it's collecting telephone numbers so that we can get in touch to actually confirm any extra detail, especially if they're going to stick a photo of something completely different on from what they've actually requested. We can get the confirmation. That can go to the same number or a different number, which is quite useful, or it could go down through to email. And then you actually get to choose your appointment after that. So what we've got, we have 3 different appointment slots options. We do a morning, an afternoon, and a school run time. So it will show you what is available. This is currently linked up to our test system, which is why there is a lot of availability. When we come to actually sort of demo this or move on to sort of linking it through to the live version, there'll be probably a fairly sort of more varied number of appointments. So it might only be 1 in 1 week, a couple in the following week, just depending on what we've actually got, because it's based on the availability within DRS. And it's also looking at those that are most going to work best. So it's got to be an orange or a green style appointment. Can't be red, which basically would mean someone's running halfway across the district when we don't really want them to. So it's looking at that sort of most suitability. Once you get to the request summary, just one more stage to go. You've got a summary of all your details, and then continue to actually book the appointment, and that submits it through. And then you get that appointment come through both on text. We get so we'll get an appointment confirmation come through. You get shown a repairs number. We also then get emails through to our system, which means that our CAS team can just check through the details, and they know that the team that a problem's actually been logged and an appointment made. The other bit that's happening in the background that we're still just working on is that automation of the link, so that what happens is it passes that information through about the repair appointment from DRS into our housing management system, so that it can actually then be viewed both by the CAS team without them having to re-enter any details. It happens automatically, and also then the details of that repair are viewable by other people that have access to it in the housing system as well. So that side, we've still got a little bit of development work going on with that, but that's where that just sort of fills in to actually bridge that gap and smooth out the entire process for people. So there we go on that. I now need to flick back to the presentation, and I'll hand back to Paul.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kristen. Right. So just a quick recap, progress made in the current sprint. As you've seen, we've progressed the customization and integration of the MVP service in readiness to go live in a couple of weeks. We've completed the separation of describe your problem from photo upload. So that was driven by a design change that came out of the user research, and I think Kristen just touched on that. We've flowed entered data to DRS that enables the customer service agents to remove any PII data that may exist. We've progressed the integration between DRS and Capita. which enables the repair job to be raised in Capita when there's a service request within DRS. And we built out service pages which are common across all the 3 repair journeys, and this is some of those that we've built. Next page. Okay, so what will be a focus for the next sprint? Well, it's to continue to build out those common pages across the service, set the required repair priority for repairs across all the 3 journeys. We'll look to perform a text bite to investigate how the repair number can be kept when a resident changes their repair appointment after submitting a repair. We'll enable the service to display communal addresses, also configure the service for communal SORs, and finally start to build out the service with those unique communal pages, for example, problems reported at this address, and describe your problem in more detail. The difference between that page on the communal service and then the tenant and leasehold is that there's an additional text box which enables the resident to actually specify the exact location of the repair, because as you can imagine, in a communal space, it's much larger than a resident's property. Over to you, Kristen.
So back to me. So getting involved, as always, we've got our blog, we've got our website. So if you want more information as to what we're up to or want to have a look at this again, please head to the website. We've got information there. Also, it's another way of getting in contact with us, or you can reach out through email. Teams, please do get in touch. If anyone is interested, we are actually looking, starting to look ahead for the next phase and actually putting a new funding bid in. And we're also looking about how we actually move forward with the governance side of actually developing a sort of governance structure so that we can actually work as a community together to make it the best service possible that's going to work for as many councils as possible. So if you'd like to be involved in that, please do drop us a message. We've got a meeting in early November for interested councils to come and get involved in, have a say on what you want, and also if there's new functionality that you think we'd really like to see, that would be the key selling point for us to actually make it worthwhile take on. Let us know. That's the sort of information. It's really helpful for us to know, because we only know our own councils and our own environments. So it's really great to hear from others and what problems you're having with reporting repairs, so that we can actually incorporate that into the future versions and make it as usable for as many different councils and housing associations as we possibly can. I think that's it from me realistically. So we're over to Paul and any questions.
So are there any questions you may have? Oh, Leon, you got your hand up.
Yeah, thanks. Really good progress. It's good to see what you've done so far. Just wanted to say, with respect to the governance meeting, if anybody does want to attend, if you can email me at leon@localdigital.gov.uk, I'll be happy to send an invitation to you, as I'll be facilitating the session. One question I did have though, in the previous session, you highlighted that you've achieved integration with DRS and you've got an agreement to deliver integration with NEC Housing. The last slide that you were looking at, Paul, I noticed you mentioned integration with Capita. So I just wanted to know, is that integration reusable for other councils who use the Capita housing management system?
I think I'll hand over to Kristen, because you've been heavily involved in that.
Yep, so I'll pick up on that one. So yeah, we have some integration with Capita. It's more for the lines of actually pushing through the appointments. We're still trying to, we've hit a couple of snags which we're currently working to resolve. But yes, it is something that that DRS to Capita link is something that's been done before. We're producing it again, so it is something that the aim will be that it's reusable. It is a relatively standard sort of integration point that has been done before. I've just got one snag that we've had come up the last couple of days that we're just trying to work through with the different parties to make sure that that's resolved. The one side where it doesn't work so well is Capita does have at the moment, for the current version, so that's the open housing, it has a very limited range of API integration. So what we can't do is actually link up through to pull the addresses out through from the housing management system directly on using API requests. So we're using Insight Reports, the reporting system, to actually just do sort of extractions on a scheduled basis, so that you can actually get the addresses into the online repairs. So that's just one bit. With the One Housing, the new system that's coming in, we keep getting told that there's a lot more API integrations that will be open and available there. So potentially that's something that can be looked at in future when someone's actually got one in place. And there should be some options open to them, but it'll have to be investigated when someone's actually got the one system and is looking at the integration with it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do we have any further questions from anyone, or maybe some feedback on the MVP service that Kristen demoed today? Okay, doesn't seem like we've got any further questions. Well, it just leaves us to say thank you for attending this show and share, and we look forward to seeing you all again in 2 weeks' time. Thanks, everybody, and goodbye.
Thanks
Thank
all.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks very much. Thanks, folks.